Welcome. Namaste. This is a yin practice to stimulate the flow of chi, of life force, into your lungs to help them stay healthy and vital in these challenging times. You will need 2 blocks if you have them. If you don't have blocks, you could use a blanket or a towel instead. Just make that work. We'll start with a brief centering and a little breathing practice. And so make sure that you're seated comfortably. You can sit up on a blanket like I'm doing, or you can sit up on your block if you like. And then once you're settled, allow your eyes to close. Take a nice deep breath in. And let it out with a sigh. Pausing and taking a moment to fully arrive. And just to become aware of your presence on your mat. Notice if you can feel your hands touching your legs. You can feel your legs touching your mat. See if you can find a sense of heaviness in your pelvis, really dropping into your seat. And see if you can lift your rib cage away from your hips, creating some space between the vertebrae of your spine, creating more room for your lungs to expand as you breathe. Shoulders soft, belly relaxed. And as you settle into your body, notice how you're feeling right now. It's not unlikely that you're anxious or afraid given the situation with the COVID-19 virus. And that's perfectly normal. And it doesn't serve you to tell yourself that you shouldn't be afraid, or that you cannot be afraid, or that it's stupid to be anxious. Because if that's what you're feeling, that's what you're feeling. And whether those feelings are based on reality and on expected outcomes or not, the fact of the matter is that that's what you're feeling in this moment, so acknowledge that. And see if you can tolerate feeling anxious or feeling afraid right now. And just telling yourself, I understand that you're anxious. I understand that you're afraid. It's okay. And then take a couple of nice deep breaths in through your nose and let it go out through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And one more deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice if that simple act of breathing and releasing shifted things, even if it's just a little bit. And you're welcome to continue to sit with your eyes closed, or if you prefer, you can open them for a moment, letting the palms of your hands face upward, letting your hand rest on your knees still. And then close the fingers of your right hand. So you're folding the fingers into your palm, making a loose fist. Your left hand is open. And then imagine that you could breathe in through the left hand. You breathe in through the hand, in through the inside of the arm, in through the shoulder, into your lungs, and then pause for a moment. And then close your left hand, and as you exhale, open the right and imagine the breath going out through the shoulder, through the right arm, and out through the right hand. And then as you inhale, imagine the breath going in the right hand, the right arm, into your lungs. Close the right hand, pause, and exhale the breath out through the left arm and the left hand. And then again, you inhale through the left hand, the left arm, into the lungs. Close your hands. Pause for a moment. Maybe visualize how your breath is swirling around in your lungs. And then as you exhale, open your right hand and let the breath flow out your right side. Inhale through your right side, closing the hand. Let the breath swirl around in your lungs, maybe even visualizing them lighting up bright white. And exhale out through the left side, out through your left hand. And then continue to breathe like this, from left to right and right to left. Continue to breathe like that for a few more rounds. The lung meridian, the energy channel connected to the lung, runs from the thumb through the inner arm, through the shoulder, into the lungs. So when you visualize or imagine the breath flowing through the hand and the arm into the lungs, the chi, the life force, will follow and begin to flow more freely and more fluently. And maybe take one more round. And whenever you exhale on your left side, ending on your left side, slowly release the technique and pause for a moment, just noticing the effect of this breathing exercise. And then slowly bring your hands together in front of your heart, setting an intention for your practice. And let's also together set the intention to practice for the benefit of all beings on the planet. May everyone be safe and healthy. As you lower your hands and open your eyes. If you're sitting on a prop, move it out of your way. And then come to lie down on your back, pulling your knees in towards your chest. Your knees can be close together or a little wider apart. I actually like my knees a little wider so that I don't feel compression in my hip, but to see what works for you. You can grab your arms around your shins and knees, or you can have your hands below your knees, whatever feels comfortable. And then allow your heels to relax towards your buttocks. Let your sacrum drop towards the ground. Your whole pelvis heavy, letting it sink, connect into the earth. Spine is neutral. Shoulders relaxed. And leave a little space between your back teeth so your jaw can unhinge. And take one more breath here. And then slowly roll over to your left side, extending your arms out in front of you, palms together, knees pulled up into your chest. And as you inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling and all the way over to the floor behind you. And as you exhale, bring the arm up to the ceiling and back to meet your left hand. Inhale, arm comes up, goes all the way over and down to the floor. And exhale, arm comes up to meet the left hand again. And just a few more movements like this, slowly, slowly at the pace of your breath. Now the next time your arm comes over and behind you towards the right, pause here. Allow your knees to be nice and heavy. Place a prop between your knees if you feel that your right leg is pulling too much on the lower back. And you may notice as you come into the twist from this position that your right shoulder gets a little more of a stretch than otherwise in the twist. So if that shoulder is not on the floor, just let it hang. But make sure that your right hand is supported. And your belly is soft and your head can be in the center or turn to your right. Whatever feels comfortable. And see if you can simply let your body be cradled by this twist, letting yourself drop into the ground, really soft. There's nothing to do here. Notice if you're unconsciously engaging your legs or your buttocks. Let's see if you can keep them soft. Notice if there are any specific thoughts racing through your mind, and just acknowledge monkey mind, letting the thoughts come and go, and staying present with your breath and the sensations in your body. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And bring your right hand to your right shoulder with an elbow bend, and then slowly bring the elbow over so that the right hand can slide onto the left hand again. And then carefully roll onto your back. Your feet can rest on the mat. Just taking a moment here to notice the effect of these movements and the stillness and the twist. You may notice a difference between your right and your left shoulder. Then slowly roll onto your right side, and again your arms are going to go straight in front of you at shoulder height, palms together. Knees are bent and pulled up into your chest. And as you inhale, reach the left arm up to the ceiling and all the way over to the floor behind you. And on your exhale, arm reaches up and all the way back to touch the right hand. Inhale, arm comes up and over, and exhale, the arm returns to the right hand. And as you continue these movements, make sure that your head is on the floor. If it doesn't touch the floor, place a blanket or a cushion under your head. And one more like this, deep breath in to open the arm, and exhale, bring it back. And then on your next inhale, as the arm reaches all the way over behind you to the left, let it rest on the floor. And again, your shoulder may not be on the floor, but let your hand rest. If it's not on the floor, maybe use a little cushion or block or blanket. Your head can be turned over your left shoulder or can be in the center if that feels more comfortable. Noticing if this side feels different from first side, if this shoulder is tighter or looser, if this makes any difference in your hips. belly relaxed. And again, if you feel a very strong pull in your lower back here, on the weight of your left leg, just place something between your knees to support the lower back. Notice if you can really soften. Are you holding yourself back anywhere? And can you just let go? Notice that when you take a deep breath in, you may feel the intensity of the sensations in your body increase, and when you exhale, sensing your body melting a little more. Take 2 more breaths here. And slowly bending your left elbow, bring your hand to your left shoulder and then bring the elbow up all the way over. Bringing your hand to your right hand, and then carefully roll onto your back. You can straighten out your legs and taking a moment to notice the effects of these 2 postures so far. And then slowly roll onto your belly, bringing your elbows under your shoulders for Sphinx pose. You can have your hands flat on the mat or palms together, whatever feels natural to you. Just make sure that the elbow is pretty much straight under the shoulder, so you have a nice stability in the shoulder there, and that they're not too wide. Also, that may feel a little intense and unstable, so nice and steady in the shoulders, and then let your legs relax. The heels may turn in or out, whatever they naturally do. Buttocks are soft. And you literally let your spine hang out here. Taking a moment to settle into this shape. And then imagine that you could breathe into the back of your heart, spot between your shoulder blades. And imagine that you breathe in through the back of the heart. And on your exhale, let the breath expand out through the front into your chest, into your lungs. And so you inhale through the spot between your shoulder blades, the back of the heart. And exhale, imagine the breath flowing through the front of your chest into your lungs, energizing, revitalizing your lungs. Now repeat that a couple more rounds. And notice if by imagining the breath flowing from the back to the front, if that changes anything in your body, if it changes anything in your breathing capacity. And as you repeat that one more time, come back to your natural breath and notice if there's any part of your body that you could relax a little more. And take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly lower your chest and your head down. You can let your forehead rest on your hands or turn your head to one side. Noticing the effect of this Sphinx pose with the breathing. And then bring your hands under your shoulders, coming onto your knees, slowly come into a child's pose, stretching out your lower back for a moment. Let your head rest. And then slowly roll up and come to sit for a moment. Taking your blocks. So if you don't have blocks, you could use a blanket and roll it up very tight. So you have a pretty thick, short roll. If you have blocks, you'll place one block at the top of your mat, highest setting, and one lengthwise in front of it at the lowest, the second lowest setting. If you don't have blocks and you were to use a blanket, you would put it lengthwise on your mat like this. If you have your blocks, or if you have a blanket, doesn't matter, the edge of this block or the edge of the blanket will land right here at the tip of your shoulder blade. So if you were imagining that you were wearing a bra just below the breast and around, that's where that edge is going to be, so that you create a nice lift in the heart. So you lower yourself onto the block and your head onto the higher block. And again, if you were on a blanket, the blanket would be at the same level. So the edge under the tip of your shoulder blades and your head should be on the blanket as well. So this should feel pretty comfortable. If this is not comfortable, that block that is closer to your hips needs to move a little bit. Sometimes it needs to come a little lower than you think. So just so that you feel supported and you get a sense of the heart lifting and your shoulders opening, so that you can let your hands rest on the floor on either side of you. So again, you get this gentle stretch here through the shoulder and the inner arm to stimulate the lung meridian. Your legs are in butterfly, so feet together, knees apart. Nice comfortable distance between the groin and your feet, so that your hips are at ease. And then take a moment to soften into this shape. Really allowing your shoulders to drape off that block, your head to be heavy, your pelvis and your hips to fall into the ground. And belly gently moving with your breath. And then I invite you to practice the same breathing exercise we did seated at the beginning of the practice. So you open the left hand, the right hand is closed in a loose fist, both resting on the floor. And then you imagine breathing in through the left hand, the left arm into the chest, letting the breath settle in the lungs. And then you close your left hand and exhale through the right hand, arm and the right hand. And then you inhale through the right hand, the right arm into the lungs. Pause for a moment. And your exhale out through the left side of the left hand. And so you continue to breathe like that. like to visualize the flow of the breath, the flow of the chi, the swirling of the breath in your lungs. Then repeat that for one more round wherever you are. And whenever you exhale on your left side, release the technique and return into a sense of passive melting into the pose. Take 2 more nice deep breaths here. And bring your hands a little closer to your body. So you can use your elbows and your hands using your abdominal muscles to slowly and carefully come up. Moving your props out of your way. And then slowly extend your legs and rest on your back. Arms by your sides. Maybe you'd like to cover yourself with a blanket. Letting your legs relax and your whole body settle into the ground, allowing your eyes to close to allow your practice to settle into your body while you're lying here in Shavasana. Noticing the effects of your practice. Noticing how your body feels right now. Noticing the quality of your breath. And there's nothing you need to do right now. Nothing to fix. Nothing to figure out. Nowhere else to be. can stay here in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready to move on, slowly take a couple nice deep breaths. And slowly bend your knees, drawing your knees into your chest for a moment, just the way we started. So notice if this feels any different right now. Perhaps it feels like your body's a little closer to the ground. And then carefully roll to your side and come up to sit. And close your eyes just for another moment. Noticing the effects of your practice. Notice how your body feels right now. What is different? What has been loosened? What has been opened? Maybe the quality of your breath is different. Maybe it feels like you can breathe a little deeper. And possibly your mind is a little calmer, a little more spacious. And bring your hands together in front of your heart and bow your head in gratitude for yourself, for the time you took to practice, for gratitude for your health and the resilient capacity of your body. May everyone be healthy, happy and free. Namaste.